Hi again, everybody. It is the foggiest, coziest, spookiest Halloween kind of morning, and that made me want to curl up with a blanket. Everything just looks covered in a white blanket of clouds outside, and that made me thinking, oh, what a perfect day to read a book about a ghost, right? But not just any ghost. I have this special book called The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt. Now, normally when you see ghosts, they're just made out of white sheets, right? If you've ever had a costume or known someone who's dressed up as a ghost for Halloween, they just kind of wear a big white sheet. But a quilt is different. It's made up of lots of different kinds of fabrics, patterns, and designs, and they're stitched together, sometimes in squares, sometimes in different shapes. And so I went looking for my quilt, which is my favorite blend of colors, lots of shades of yellow. And I thought I would wear it while I read this book to you guys. Maybe I'll look like the little ghost who was a quilt. Are you guys ready? Let's see what happens. The Little Ghost Who Was a Quilt. Once there was a little ghost who was a quilt. There he is, living up there in the attic with his little window, looking out at the world. He's very brave. He didn't know why he was a quilt. His mom and dad and all of his friends were sheets. They were light as air. They flew high and fast and twirled and whirled in the sky. They could even ride on a gust of wind and then whoosh back to the ground like they were going down an invisible slide. That looks like fun. But look, he's just there watching them from his attic window. Maybe he's too scared to go out. The little ghost who was a quilt was heavy because of his layers of fabric. That's true. Even just having this over my shoulders, it feels a lot heavier than just a regular blanket, or especially a sheet. It was hard for him to lift off, and he was a slow flyer. He got hot and sweaty when he tried to go faster. The only time he attempted to twirl and whirl, it didn't end well. Oh dear, it looks like he tumbled down the stairs and ended up in this little ball like a burrito. Poor thing. One day, he and his friends were at a park when they heard someone coming. His friends zoomed away because ghosts are terrified of people. Isn't that funny? People are terrified of ghosts. But this little ghost couldn't escape quickly enough. He flopped over a bench. A family came along, and a little boy who was eating an ice cream cone sat down beside him. The little ghost had never been so close to a human before, and he felt fear in every fiber of his fabric. The boy only stayed a few minutes, but he dropped a big blob of melted ice cream right on the little ghost's face. Oh dear, poor thing. Later, when some other ghosts saw him, they laughed at the stain on his forehead. That wasn't very kind. The little ghost was embarrassed and also very sticky as he made his way home. Oh, poor thing. Might be time for a bath, huh? The little ghost didn't like being different. His mom told him he had an ancestor who was a checkered tablecloth, and his great-grandmother was an elegant lace curtain. Everyone said she was the most beautiful ghost they'd ever seen. But even knowing that, the little ghost didn't feel any better. He wished he was just one fabric and not a whole bunch of squares sewn together. The other ghosts called him Scrappy, and he didn't like that. Hey, that's not my name, huh? But there was one day that always cheered him up. Oh, Halloween! There he is peeking out from behind the tree at the biggest jack-o'-lantern I've ever seen. People seemed excited about ghosts on Halloween, and sometimes children dressed as them to trick or treat. Every year, the ghosts went to watch the festivities. They stayed silent and still in the trees and pretended to be decorations, far away from any humans. Well, that's pretty clever. Too heavy to hover, the little ghost who was a quilt usually draped himself over a clothesline. Nothing to see here, just a blanket drying. He never had a very good view. The cat made himself comfy right there, blocking his way, huh? This year he had a better plan. He remembered how close he'd been to the boy at the park, so he decided he would be brave and fold himself over a chair on a porch right in the center of the action. Ooh, that is a brave move. Halloween night came, and the little ghost flew as fast as he could, but he was only halfway across the lawn when he heard some people coming. At the last possible second, he flopped over the porch rail. Whew, he made it. A mom walked up the driveway with a little girl who was dressed as a ballerina, and while the girl trick-or-treated, The mother asked the man at the door something. I bet she's asking about the blanket. Does this belong to you? Did someone leave it behind? It sure looks cozy. The next thing the little ghost knew, the mom had picked him up. He was so scared he thought his seams might come unstitched. He was trying to hang on to that skeleton's hand. No, don't take me away. The mom wrapped the little ghost around the girl and put them both in a wagon. The girl had been cold, and now the little ghost was keeping her warm. Oh, how nice. They needed him. He could hardly believe what was happening. Do you think he's feeling scared? This never happened to him before. They headed down the street past his friends in their tree. No, don't go, one whispered. What are you doing? The little ghost decided to fly away as soon as the girl got out of the wagon to trick or treat again. But the mom didn't turn into the next yard or the one after that. Uh-oh, where are they going? By the time she finally walked up to a house, the little ghost was panicking. How would he get away now? I think they're going home. Oh, it's so dark. Look, just the tiniest little crack of light from the doorway. The mother parked the wagon and carried the girl and the ghost into the house. The little ghost didn't know what to do. He reminded himself to stay calm and be brave. The little ghost peeked around the room. There were Halloween decorations everywhere. He even saw a branch trimmed with lollipop ghosts. They looked just like his friends in the tree. You see them? What's your favorite decoration? There's a lot, huh? I like the skull with the candle on it. That's very cool. The girl tucked the little ghost, who was a quilt, under her legs as she sorted her candy into piles. Wow, she got a lot. He felt surprisingly cozy. Maybe things would turn out okay after all. The girl ate a chocolate bar, and when she wiped her sticky fingers on the little ghost, he didn't even mind. He was feeling loved, huh, with the family. After the little girl was asleep upstairs, her mom gently folded the little ghost, who was a quilt. She smiled and admired his fabrics and traced her finger along a line of his stitching. It tickled. Do you see his little face? She set the little ghost on the couch and went upstairs too. And when she was gone, he flew into the fireplace and out the chimney. His smile was 3 squares wide. I think he had a good time, huh? The little ghost friends cheered and rushed over to him. They were amazed by his courage and wanted to hear every detail of his adventure. They flew slowly along with him all the way home. Wow, you did it! You were with a real live human. What was it like? What did you do? What did they eat? The little ghost was so happy that he felt like he was floating without even trying. Everything that had happened was because he was a little bit different. Everything had happened because he was a quilt.